Yeah, I mean, there were so many people crossing the field. I told him nice job and was impressed with the way his kids performed. And just so he knows, I've been retired 4 years, and I work for K-West TV here in Weslaco now, and I just think he does a great job over there, and it's nice to see Lopez on the upward track.
All right, Coach Starkey, welcome to the Huddle on Fox Sports 1700, the Wednesday show.
Hey, thanks, Jake, and thanks, John. Appreciate the kind words about the kids. How you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you doing? You got PSJA Memorial coming up.
Yeah, we got PSJ coming up on Friday. Get to go play in that beautiful stadium and that great environment, a lot of tradition in far San Juan Alamo area, and we're excited about the opportunity to compete.
You guys are 2-0. Last year at this point, you were what, 1-1?
Yes, sir.
And you got to like where your team's at. I mean, we talked in the summer, and you kind of talked about it being kind of a rebuilding season, but you guys have looked good.
Well, I mean, I guess beauty is upon the eyes of the beholder. From the stands, we've given some good competitive, games, but from where I'm sitting, we got a lot of areas we need to grow in, starting really with our special teams. We've spent an exorbitant amount of time on that and taking care of the football better, scoring on defense, just things that make us who we are in our Lopez DNA, if you will. We're pleased, with the successful outcomes, but we are definitely not where we need to be in order to, compete in our district. So we're hoping to get on track, this Friday and just play some good, clean, old-fashioned football.
So you say Lopez DNA. I really love that idea. It's a great way to sell your program to the kids. You talked about needing improvement in the kicking game. Is there any specific area or just as a whole?
Well, I mean, really our coverage teams, to be honest with you, Coach, just got a lot of young kids, that we're trying to get in the game and trying to give an opportunity to compete. And just really the discipline that comes along with being a part of the special force that we offer here and just keeping contained and, breaking down just the fundamentals of playing football in space. And that's something we've really paid close attention to in the last week and a half, trying to really shore up that area in that third facet, of our game.
That's always been a concern of mine. When you scrimmage, you don't get to do those things live.
Yes, sir.
I always thought that was kind of a downfall in the scrimmage situation, that you don't get to do any live kicking game. Even if you did it without tackling, I think that would help. But, Coach, I'm sure you'll do a job and you'll sell those kids on. That's like being a starter when you're on one of those kicking games, and you might be the one to change the game.
And that's pretty much, my selling point. I mean, I tell my kids all the time, JV football wasn't too good for me. And playing special teams is how I got out of that club and got to go dress with the Friday Night Boys. So we try to provide that same opportunity to our youngsters to give them, an opportunity for their family to come see them under the bright Friday night light of Texas high school football. And we got a few kids competing, and we're really excited about the way they've been practicing. So, you talk about not being able to do special teams and scrimmages. You know what? It's really a fine line of how much contact you allow them to have, on the practice field, too. Because it's always a dangerous, drill when you're running some kid, 40 yards down the field, and then there's collisions that occur. So we try to walk that, that rope very carefully, but hopefully we'll be a lot better off than we've been the last 2 weeks.
Coach, coming into the season, after having a successful season last year, a banner year for your program, how do you ease those egos that might think that, hey, we were good last year, we can do it again?
I'm just real fortunate in that area. I've got a lot of humble kids here. A lot of humble kids, a lot of hungry kids. They're really buying into what the coaching staff's selling them. We really don't have, knock on wood, too much issues with ego right now. I mean, you're talking about a part of the town, or really a part of the country that just, my have-nots, and I'm one of those too. I mean, I'm a paycheck-to-paycheck school teacher and coach, so I know what it's like to, do without, and these kids do too, unfortunately. So, yeah, we experienced a little success, but, we paid a lot of attention, honestly, in January. Once we got back from break, we did certain things in this program that we emulated from, other programs in college where, last year is last year. And really, you don't get the luxury of taking ownership of that. That's last year's senior team ownership. So the 2017 seniors, they have a clean canvas and they have an opportunity, but we'll be whatever they want to be. So, we paid a lot of attention to that in January. The kids really bought in right away. We put question marks on everybody's back, including the coaching staff. And, so we're not we're not focused on yesterday, in regards to, what we did or did not do. We're really focused on right now and what we need to do.
Yeah, Jake and I were talking about that exact thing off air. Each year, your team has a different personality. You could have 20 of the 22 starters return, and every year you're going to have a different personality. Are you happy with the personality and the leadership of your team right now?
That's a good question, actually, John. I'm happy with where we're at, but we still need to grow in the leadership category. Our seniors last year were real special to me in regards to they didn't experience much success their entire time in our cluster, really. They only won 2 games from their 8th grade year all the way up to their senior year, and then, we did what we did last year. But there were some exceptional leaders on that team. Actually, many of them graduated and went to serve our country in the armed forces in all branches, actually. So really proud of those kids, and I was always concerned about not necessarily the athleticism that this team has, but really the leadership qualities that it possesses. And we paid a lot of attention to that, and we got a few kids really rising up, being vocal leaders. We try to teach our kids that you don't have to always lead with your mouth. Actually, a person that leads with their actions sometimes, in most cases, is a lot more effective. So I think our coaching staff's doing a great job of really facilitating an environment to enrich those qualities and that character.
Now, your players and your staff, do they realize, your pedigree? I mean, I hate to say pedigree, but, you played you started 9 games in the NFL.
Yeah.
You played at West Virginia. Oh, excuse me.
That is a big mistake, Jake. Yeah.
Marshall, excuse me.
I love you anyway, but, hey, we are Marshall, brother, and we're green and white through and through. Yeah, sorry to cut you off, Jake.
No, that's okay.
They know, and they're unimpressed. Really, because we're like a family. These coaches, I'm really fortunate. My coordinators especially, but definitely the assistants. We're like a group of brothers. We just thoroughly enjoy each other's presence, and just like any other older or younger brother, because I'm not the oldest guy on this staff either, that's just good ammo for those closed door meetings that are fun and sometimes heated. Yes, I played the game, at the highest level, and I'm blessed for that experience. But honestly, I've only been coaching for 7 years, so I really rely a lot upon the experience of my assistants and my coordinators. Really fortunate to have 2 great coordinators, Coach Hugo Ramirez, leading another impressive defense this year, and Coach Alberto Leal, who's been coaching longer than, heck, I've been out of college, and he's a baseball coach and a great offensive mind, and those 2 just really do a good job getting the kids and the coaches to buy in. So, yeah, they know, and I've got a few pictures of my friends on my coaching wall just for icebreakers and stuff, but my guys are unimpressed with any of that stuff. Really, it's an attitude about what have we done lately, not about what I did 20 years ago.
Right, and that 20-year ago run by you, which is impressive, but like you said, that won't win any games at Lopez.
Sure won't.
It might get them to open their ears when you're talking, but it's not going to win any games.
If I'm fortunate, Coach, it'll get their attention at times, and that's really the best I can get out of that. So I'm doing the best I can to not get outworked one day at a time. Try to be a leader myself, and try to lead by example with great work ethic and high character and integrity. And my coaches do a great job of keeping me accountable to that, keep each other accountable to that. So, yeah, it's cool, for us to sit around a barbecue and talk about, old stories. But, this time of year, we ain't talking about any of that stuff, unless the Cowboys lose, of course, and then I'll chime in. But other than that, Cowboys won last week and the Cardinals lost, so we ain't talking about it.
So do you, looking back, at where you came from, in West Virginia, all the way to here, how did that happen? Because, that's not the typical route to the Valley.
No, I love my West Virginia heritage, and I'm proud to be, from that state. But sometimes I'll say I might not be from Texas, but I got here as fast as I could. I really love and enjoy the Rio Grande Valley, especially. It is a long story, Jake, and most of it. But I left West Virginia to go to Tampa Bay to play arena football. That lasted about 5 weeks. Actually, I finally got to start on the 5th week and played significant time for the Tampa Bay Storm. Had the worst game of my career. Gave up multiple sacks and just really was terrible. The whole playing both ways things didn't really work out for me. But I got home, got a call from the Arizona Cardinals. Did not believe it. Thought it was a joke. When I told the head coach of Tampa Bay the next day, he thought it was a joke too. But they gave me a plane ticket, went out to Arizona, was there, for a 4-year career, met a lovely woman, started a family, got into the, other sector of work and did medical sales and other things. And And my wife has a family from Corpus Christi, Fremont area. We came down here for a long overdue trip in the spring of 2010, and got to see all of her Hispanic, family. And really, I had such a good time when we got back. I started talking about the possibility of moving down here. I have a close friend who's been an athletic trainer for 17 years at Pace, Brownsville Pace, Matt Gross. We actually played high school ball together, and he was my connection to this town and this district. And, Coach Medrano gave me my opportunity. And 6 months after we visited Fremont for a big pachanga, we were loading a U-Haul and driving south, and really haven't worked a day ever since.
Wow, that's incredible, because Coach Boswell and I are transplants also. So.
Really? I didn't know you were. Yeah, I did know you were a transplant, Jake, but that's cool. I mean, it's just, and maybe your guys' story is similar. Mine was I had, the intention of coming down here, getting a resume built up, and then going, quote unquote, where football is king, in my perception. And then I got down here, and, we found a great church, and we found a great school district, and I started connecting with these kids. And, well, long story short, we built a house, and it's near the water, and I love to fish, so we ain't going anywhere anytime soon, God willing.
So, looking at this, and I have a smile on my face hearing that story, because, you just don't hear that kind of story when you're, we've got a couple coaches that have been in the league. I don't know how many have started, but, your story is incredible, and I look at what you did last year with your team, and this year, this nice start. Can you guys keep it rolling like you did last year?
Well, that's the plan, and the way we plan to try to do that, we're just all focused on FAR right now. We're getting ready to play a much improved, well-coached PSJA Memorial team, and they have our utmost respect and our attention. I mean, we're out there finishing right now with conditioning on Wednesday because, we just need to prepare ourselves to win this week, and that's really our mantra. And, tomorrow we'll be here, God willing, and we'll take and face tomorrow's challenges when it gets here. But today, we've got a motivated, well-coached, much better opponent, PSJA Memorial, and I definitely want to give a shout-out to my friend, Coach at eBay, and Coach Farrell Williams, and Coach Boutwell, who went up there from Pace. Just there's a lot of great coaches up there, and they're doing a phenomenal job with a program that actually looks very much like this one looked a couple years ago. So we expect a great game, and, hopefully we get a W, but, my prayers are we just get out healthy and prepared for our tough district.
Now, I got to see Mac play PSJA Memorial last week.
Mm-hmm.
And PSJA Memorial played them 3 tough quarters, and finally McAllen Memorial was able to get some offense going and kind of minimize their turnovers. Do you see that with you guys for tomorrow? Is it tomorrow?
It's Friday. Feels like tomorrow, but It's Friday, yeah. My hope is we just come out and execute and play Lobo football, and the score will take care of itself. I feel like we are far from our best game and our best performance in all 3 phases. My hope is we get one step closer to that Friday. In regards to that Mac High and PSJA Memorial game, it looked typical of a second, non-district game. A lot of turnovers, a lot of sloppy play. Looks very much like our last 2 games looked in PI and against Edinburgh. And if it wasn't for 2 late red zone turnovers and miscues and scores that resulted from those by Mac High, that would have been a different outcome. So we know this is a good, hungry ball club we're going against, and we're trying. We think we're decent and pretty hungry ourselves, and we're going to their place, and we're sure they remember last year, and we're just focused on the opportunity that Friday brings, and the rest will kind of take care of itself. But they're a 6A ball club, and we scheduled them for a reason. We need to get all the tests out of the way so that we can be prepared for our district, which I think is one of the top districts in the valley. I mean, I'm not going to say we're better than 32 6A. But I think we're pretty daggum good, and I would defend, teams in our district, especially with the emergence of Pace and Donna, a healthy Donna. Even though they lost tailback Coach Lee out yesterday, they look much better than last year. I just think Mercedes is, they could play on Sundays, I think, and Ed Couch is Ed Couch. So, got a real good district. We're real proud to be a member of it, and we're just trying to do our best to be prepared when it gets here.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming on the show. I hope I could get you back on later on in the season with play on Sundays, so it'll be nice.
Well, it's an honor, Jake, and I appreciate you guys taking time to call us down here in Brownsville. Thank you so much for the positive, publicity. It is an honor to be on this. Congratulations to you, by the way, Jake. I mean, you're really blowing up, and you do wonderful work. I got your website on, look at it from time to time. I think Coach Ramirez, my D coordinator, he's listening to you every daggum day. Sometimes I give him a hard time. I was like, when are we going to start preparing for the opponent and quit listening to Jake? Daggum. But no, seriously, you're an incredible reporter. You do great work. It's an honor to be on your program, and I'd come back anytime.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it. Good luck this week.
Thank you. Doing everything right. You're heading on the right track.
And thank you, too, Coach. I hope you guys both have a blessed evening.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, bye-bye.
Coach Jason Starkey of the Brownsville Lopez Lobos. Great story.
Impressive. Just to hear him talk. He's in it for the right reasons. They're trying to do it the right way. The kids probably love him. And they play hard when they like it.
Yeah, great foundation over there. Let me do some quick reads real quick before we're out. We got about a minute left. Just want to let you know that if you want to win a trip to our iHeartRadio Music Festival in Vegas, coming up September 22nd and 23rd, tune in tomorrow at 7 with Clay Travis for your first chance to text and win on Fox Sports 1700. So, you do that tomorrow?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Well, we're almost out. For myself, I got about 30 seconds. Coach Boswell, Coach John Boswell of K West, formerly of Westlaco, Donna, Westlaco East, everywhere you can imagine. And myself, Jake Berry. I'd like to thank everybody for listening. You can listen to us come back and listen to us on Saturday from 10 to 12. I got Clay Williams in studio. You can listen to us on Fox Sports 1700, 956sports.com, or the iHeartRadio app. Download it because you're going to want that app.
Thanks, guys. It's been fun.
Yeah, thank you, Coach. I appreciate it.
Keep a steady ebb and flow. Take what we get, so get set, ready, go.